app needs to load a little bit, but it looks like, hold on a second, 4 people in the chat already. Yeah, people already in Lakesh and Veritasen, and yeah, they're already 7 people in Lakesh and Veritas, everybody.
Yay.
They're like, we in the lobby, let us in.
Welcome, welcome.
All
We
right.
are here.
Yes, yes. Give a quick shout out to some of the people who are in the chat. We got Theodore Anderson, Stephanie Singletary, Leoneri, Inlakesh Studio One in the house, squared. Russ Goldston, Inlakesh Veritas, having fun with the sun, opening that fifth chakra, seeing Sci-Fire, Blue, and fixing and igniting the inner voice. I think the food was extra good today. That's why we were a little delayed, because had to do some things, and we mentioned previously that we'd share what we're doing visually, so there's a whole video orchestration of the process, and we'll be sharing that with you all soon. More of the high frequency living lifestyle, starting our day and what happens prior to the podcast, and yeah, and may it inspire you to work with food and raise the vibe and have a good time in your kitchen and cha cha cha. Any
Yes.
thoughts? We had Italian today.
This is so in keeping with what's coming up. I have a class that will be starting next month that will be health and in the current time that we live in, some of the ancient and easy practices to keep you pristine, pure, clean, well nourished, and some ideas about nourishment and nutrition as well as healing that you may not have thought of. Ideas about the elements and the earth and the wind and all of the different things, the vegetables that are our cousins. So we'll be talking about all of those things in my upcoming class in May.
Yeah, I think what's cool about that class is that we'll be touching deeper on the idea of the other sun lifestyle
Yes,
and what it means to fill yourself up with light in the
yes,
many different ways, and expanding the minds of the students, and how it's beyond food.
yes.
It's your environment, it's working with the natural world, the elements, and how all of these things can sustain our light, and to make sure we're shifting our perception of who and what we are. And so really looking forward to it, because many people are asking, like, okay, what do I do, and how do I work with food? And we had a client yesterday, actually someone from YouTube. They called in and wanting to have understanding with about salmon, and but how to avoid parasites and things of that nature. So I understand that you'll be sharing with us these type of understandings as well, how to, because the food, there's varying levels of contamination, but how to offset that through other ways as well.
Absolutely. We have light body, but we're about to have life right light. So that's about to be where we're coming in, where we're doing life in light, like the day to day experience of the glory of what it's like to live in the light, to be the light, to not walk away from the light and take off and, all right, it's 5 o'clock, I'm done with the light.
You're right. Time to clock out and go do debauchery. Nah, there's no days off with the light.
And so this actually leads into the many things we want to share with you uh, today with our card and with the communication and the transmissions that come through. But we want to share with you who we really are, what we are really about. And Tavares, I know you have some things to share about that, but also we want to share with you that it is our will to build a community, a physical, mental, spiritual place in which people can live light, and to live the light lifestyle, to be light body, light life. That may be the name of the class, light life.
I keep seeing a T-shirt like that, light, right, life.
Yes.
Like, hold on.
So
See it.
for those who are interested in that, not everyone is interested in that lifestyle.
No, they aren't. But I think this is good, because it allows people to understand what they're associating themselves with,
Yes.
and that way people are free to choose. I want this,
Yes.
or I don't. I don't want
Yeah.
that light. I'm good,
Yeah. If
which
you're,
is perfectly fine.
yeah, if you want the opposite of that, it's okay. there's plenty of places to find it.
I'm trying to chill on my sarcasm because what's happening up here, it's like, chill out,
But
bro.
we feel the need to identify very clearly that we are about cultivating light, being light, operating as light, and lighting up the universe. We are about the idea of community in light, where our children will be protected, where we will be communing and willing to support that which supports us, where we'll be looking for people who are willing to be community, looking to contribute, not just looking to take, where everything is not transactional, where there's an opportunity for everyone to grow and everyone is supporting that and willing to do something to make that happen. And so that's the reality.
There's so many different things associated with that are bringing to mind the tenets of a son. We're going to end up sharing these things more frequently to educate people on really who we are. And, this idea of being in service to the whole, understanding that, when you are part of a larger organism, that organism supports, for example, using the biology, the larger organism supports the many cells and the cells support the larger organism. It's a reciprocal relationship, but again, we've been so severely conditioned to be myopic, where we only just see us, we only see what's in front of us instead of this expanded reality of, oh, I'm connected, I have community, which it is just so clear that life, the universe is moving us into that direction to restabilize the root, restabilize community and what you're associated with and build from there. But I see it does require that symbiotic relationship of having value of what you're a part of and understanding your personal value as it relates to the relationship.
And it is also that we are grateful for those who come and those who do not come, because the contrast is very helpful. So we are grateful for those who are adhering to the tenets of light that we are teaching and starting to glow and starting to shine. But we are also grateful to those who have come and gone, or those who come and aren't ready to adhere yet, because this is for all of us on the earth plane. We are and have been property clearers. And as property clearers, we see the necessity of cleaning up our space, ourselves, and our environment, and all of our extensions. And we feel the responsibility of that. And those who would like to be that responsible party and who are willing to give of themselves, who are willing to participate freely, who are willing to work for that end, are who we are. That you are of the sun.
Yeah.
So those tenets are?
Well, so I'm going to just share one starting from the top, and that's upholding energy hygiene as a lifestyle.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. So let's just start there, and we're maintaining energy hygiene daily. Where this is non-negotiable. It's not something where like I guess I'll do it. Oh, it's a chore. No, within the body of knowledge, which is associated with laws and principles, natural law, everything cleans itself. Everything goes through a cyclical process. Humans, we have such a fragmented understanding of that, but within of the sun, we're teaching, okay, realize that because you are more and more aspects of yourself require clearing, and even more so, the prime causal aspects of your that's influential to your reality must be addressed, which is the energy. And every day. And sometimes you got to wash your hands throughout the day energetically because of the contamination, just the sheer nature of
Yeah.
our world. You feel it out there when you're in the streets and you're in the stores and you're dealing with family, stuff gets on you. But what happens is that there's that energetic accumulation, and then it ends up weighing us down, and then we wonder why we're being pulled back into loop patterns or, self-sabotage because we have not addressed the accumulation. So this is like almost modus operandi, you know, energy hygiene. That's the lifestyle.
It's so funny. It's making me think of an old comedian who is called Flip Wilson, who used to say, "The devil made me do it."
Oh gosh, let's
And
let's
it's
talk
like,
about that.
so
Where's your responsibility?
it's like the field that is informing us as humans often was like, just, children made me spank them.
What?
My husband made me cuss him out.
Yeah, you made me angry.
All of these kinds of things. When with energy hygiene, you can be in your proper calm space, having cleaned your energy, and then you can see more clearly what's going on and where it's coming from, and it may be coming from you.
It is coming from you. Message.
One way or another. So we often say, and it comes up often, that people often say, well, somebody triggered me. I'm like, oh, the one who's triggered is the one with the issue.
But can we break that down?
Yes. Yes.
Somebody triggered me. So it's like, who feels the trigger? I feel the trigger. I'm the one feeling. So like, hold on. Today's card pool: declare war on the enemy within you.
Yes.
I'm turned up because it's like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of hearing they made me do it, and that's the state of the world right now, where we are placing blame on presidents, governments, etc., corporations, instead of saying like, what did we do to allow and permit this?
Well, what's even funny to me is that the language of "you triggered me." So does that mean you got the gun or I got the gun?
I think the gun is flipped on self. Look what you did. You made me shoot. It's backwards. But again, conditioning, it is what it is. But this is why we're calling for the truth.
Yes.
So we can stop shooting ourselves and blaming somebody else.
Yes, it's so funny because this is really the topic that we want to talk about, the truth in our relationships. But have we started?
Sort of. We're like kind of
There already.
splashing our feet in the pool of truth.
Yes.
So again, welcome everybody. Our call for the truth divination theme today is truth. Declare war on the enemy within you. Conquer your own mind. Let your battle cry be truth and victory. And this is for the throat chakra. We're also going to be discussing the platonic solid, or the element associated with it, which is the dodecahedron, ether. The dimensional aspect of this card is reflecting the fifth dimension. That's where we move into. Some of you all are already splashing in 5D. Got to bring the rest of yourself with you. And the card further states, call for the truth to come into your world. Call to see what is true. Call to hear what is true. Call to speak what is true. Call for the frequency of truth and nothing less. So this is our theme today. And I want to share just a few announcements really quick before we dive in, because, we splash into what is warm. What is warm, Malta? Diane, you ready to splash? Diane just finished her Italian, y'all. We're going to show you the video. It's going to be so good. However, just a couple of announcements. So we are in the throat chakra.
Yes.
Week 2 is coming up on Sunday.
Yes.
So we'll be diving at another layer. And first off, because this is associated with the throat chakra, so it's so noteworthy of speaking on, where we have been discussing perceiving the throat as a portal, perceiving the throat as technology, as a vibrational type of instrument or apparatus that can influence matter in the same way that we see with cymatics, which is the study of sound and frequency influencing material and making geometry, with the disc and all that good stuff, right? So that being said, if you want to join us, we're stimulating that throat, and it's such a wonderful thing because humanity's throat has been so shut down.
I am still going through congestion as I clear my throat chakra, and I am so happy to be rid of whatever is the congestion in the throat chakra so that the frequency can be clear and powerful.
That's right.
So I'm moving through it.
See, I'm drinking my blue spirulina lemonade. I got my blue on. Diane got her blue scarf on. We blue today. So throughout the month of April, we are focused on the throat. So join us. Light Body Movement is 4 Sundays out of the month. It's from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. $45 a month. You can join us for an hour and a half of intense conversation, dialogue, energetic center activation.
Yes.
In a group setting, moving coherently into the concept of embodying light, seeing ourselves as solar technology.
Right.
And that's part of the shift that's happening with the throat, where this is more than just talking.
Oh, yeah.
And that's that 3D. The 50 is like, no, my voice does stuff. It influences matter, or the thought that creates word, which is operating through the throat, influence space and time and matter. So we haven't even had breakfast yet.
It's all so worthy of our attention, so worthy of us understanding how the world actually works, how everything comes together as a representation of the frequency, like your fingerprints, like your handprint, like the bottom of your foot.
Yeah, holographic.
It's all holographic. Your name, your astrology, all of your numbers, all of this is a frequency that manifests into a physicality. And then we speak through the physicality, the frequency that we
Yeah,
are.
through it. And then it broadcasts out.
Yeah,
And then
yes.
we see it. It's so trippy, but
And that's how the whole world has been made. Everything owes itself to sound.
yes.
And this is the part of the technology that modulates sound. So it's exciting.
That's right. Yeah. Turn my technology.
So we would like to
On.
tune the technology to truth today.
That's right.
So are we finished with announcements?
Nope. Almost done. Almost done. All right. Join Diane in Liquid Studio One for High Frequency Living. You can join her for the group divination card pull on Fridays. The second and third Fridays, this upcoming Friday, she'll be there with a 3-card pull at 7 p.m. And also, if you're looking to grab a deck of the Call for the Truth cards, clearly we work with them regularly. You can use them daily in your everyday experience to call for the truth. See the truth or the theme of your day, or if there's something in particular that's happening in your experience, do a card pull, single card, 3-card spread, 9-card spread. It's your world, squirrel. We're, again, to see beyond any of the distortions and the overlay with what reality is showing back to us, just like she was saying, it's holographic, right? And matter of fact, the cards are literally holographic. It's a holographic foil. So you can find that on the Other Sun website, even in Liquid Studio One, Diane's website as well. And on the 4th Friday, you can chime in for Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles. We're going to be together, Diane, myself, Lauren, Tiffany, all seasoned property clearers discussing different stories and showing the power of clearing. So you can stay tuned for that. And again, visit the Other Sun website for updates with classes, services, etc. All right, we're done. Let's dive into it. You ready?
No,
Take my
I'm
shirt
not.
off.
I want to talk a little bit about
All right.
Quantum Chronicles, that you all will be talking about dog clearings, animal clearings.
Oh yeah,
You'll
because
be
they
talking
need it.
about animals who are in the places, how exciting that's going to be coming up. I also want to refer everyone to live stream with Lauren on the consciousness of daffodils.
Yeah.
I listened to it again yesterday, and it's so much there to be gained. We have more coming soon.
I got more announcements because you like don't stop. Okay.
We're,
Shaman
we have a
Stephanie.
lot. Yeah, we have a lot going on.
We got shamanic services on the website, Shaman Stephanie. It is live and full effect. So if you're looking to do power animal, connect with that aspects of consciousness and which holds more of your power that's unique to your consciousness and your personality, or soul retrieval, parts of you that has been lost in them crazy past moments. These shamanic processes can assist you with essentially becoming whole and expanding yourself. And so there's more on that, but if you go to the Of the Sun or the homepage on the About Us and the Of the Sun Clears, you'll see a bio of Shaman Stephanie, many of her credentials, and the services, a link to the services that she offers. So we'll share more on that too. Are we done?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, there's so much that we could talk about.
We
in terms
have
of
a
what's
lot
happening.
of light to share. We hope that you will be excited as we are. And there's more to come. We have much more planned for the months that are coming that is exciting. And we are building this community so that we will have a place to meet, and those who have different interests may find something here that will engage you and be inspiring.
Yeah. Inspire.
Yes.
So, dearly beloved, today we are gathered here to be in the truth together. Are you ready? So, declare war on the enemy within you, conquer your own mind. So, I want to start off with a little preamble. One of the things that comes to mind is, okay, there's a war going on, and we're not talking about Iran, Iran, Israel, Lebanon, etc., Trump. There's a war going on inside. Always has been. I know you feel it. Eat that cookie. No, I'm not going to eat it. I'm working on my carbs. Whatever it may be, right? You know, there's a war going on. There's something in us that we have to put down. Where would you like to start with this, Lota?
I have a lot to say about this. First of all, what is happening outside of us is us happening outside of us. It is our behavior, our experiences, our incongruencies, our destructiveness, our violence against self that we see in the world. That is how this works. That we, as the generators of the energy, produce a reflection, and then we open our eyes and we see ourselves in front of ourselves. So I'd like to say that first. That, however, that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the other things. So today I was on a call with a client he says to me, Lota, I have been calling for the truth. I've been calling for the truth every day. I go to sleep at night. I wake up in the morning. I'm calling for the truth. I'm calling for the truth. And now I have a decision to make because,
Ooh.
yes, because when you call for the truth, you're asking for the lie to go away. So the truth is like, here I am. You know, like that. And it's like, but you were so comfortable with the lie. I was so comfortable. It was so easy. I understood all the lie's moves. This truth thing, I don't know.
It's foreign. Like,
It
I
might
don't know you like
require
that.
more of me. I might have to be greater. I might have to be more. I might have to have integrity and coherence and intelligence. I might have to be who I'm supposed to be. So I had that conversation this morning.
That's deep.
And I'm like, you can do it. You were calling for it. It's calling on your soul because the truth has not been part of your experience. So many people have said to me, I don't want the truth. What else you got? You know, like,
This is not a joke. This is so serious. I've heard it.
you know, they're like, I'm like, we recommend that you call for the truth. They're like,
What else you got in the bag? What else you got?
you got anything less than that? What else can I do? Can I call for ordinary? Can I call for what I usually get? Can I keep my addictions? Can I keep my bad habits? You know, if I call for the truth, won't everything change? I'm like, yes.
See, but that's
Everything
the
will
thing.
change.
Are we ready to embrace the change? That means like we change internally, how we perceive ourselves, you know, people, circumstances start shifting, you know, phasing out and
So I didn't
yeah.
say that the call I was on this one was an emergency bonus call.
Yeah. It's like we gotta talk. Continue. I'm gonna stop this other camera.
Yes, the idea was that when you call for the truth and you're getting clearings and you're pacing with this material and you're with of the sun and this person is, people are coming up to and saying, I see the light. I see the light around you. You got so much light. You know, you should be doing this. Or everybody should know who you are because I see all the light. So he has been inspired to call for the truth. But then the truth means that, you know, he may not end up sleeping with the same people.
You
The
like
truth
that?
may mean that, you know, he doesn't live in the same house. The truth may mean that his family might not think the same way about him. So this is a reality that happens when you
Yeah.
call for the truth. You want to be greater, things are going to change. You can't be the same and be different. I know.
I know it's funny, but like that's the thing. That's what happens in our minds. Like, how can I have this new experience and not change nothing?
I want to keep my girlfriend, my income, my apartment, but I want the truth. And I've been calling for it hard.
And here it is.
And all of that's starting to fall apart right in front of me, like, Lota, I need a call. Tell me what's going on. I'm like, you call for the truth, right?
Okay, so inherently within calling for the truth, there are levels of deconstruction occurring because what was constructed was based off of a lie. It was falsehood. It was, for the most part, like if we're thinking from the perspective of whoever we are overlays of the world, you know?
Well, however much of truth that you operate in, if you're calling for more, you're calling for more. So it's not an indictment.
No, but
But
like be ready. I think it's important. This is a good
yeah,
thing that people understand what they're calling on,
yeah.
And I think that's why some of them scared. Like this unconscious knowing that I don't know, I'm gonna have to give something up that I haven't decided. And you often talk about the decision, and this is a person who he hasn't quite decided.
Well, so it's layered, and I'd like to kind of mention some of the layers in this particular case because these are layers that I see in almost every case. So the person is not happy with the way they're being treated in their most intimate relationships. And they're seeking greater congruency with the greatness within them. And we are doing clearings and recommending practices, which he's diligently doing his meditations, diligently doing the things that are being recommended, and has started to see, since he started calling for the truth, various levels of things that have never happened before. So the first level was an attraction from business and from people of the opposite sex, not like dating, just like people at events saying, you have so much light, so and so is talking about you, everyone likes you, we want to offer you a position or we want to give you a situation because we like your influence because your light is just so bright. So that happens. And then randomly, people of the opposite sex are presenting themselves, and then they're actually verbalizing so much light around you. And so this is the early stages of calling for the truth. And he's really enthusiastically doing it. But then as it gets deeper, it starts to deconstruct the willingness to go along with maybe what the family thinks. Like, yeah, like the light is strengthening the character where I don't necessarily bend to what my mother and father and sister and brothers think I should be doing because the light is, and that's okay, that's comfortable. And then it goes deeper where the light starts to influence jobs and job opportunities and uh, unbelievable options present themselves. And he's still not making decisions, but he's very flattered by it. Then, in the intimacy of his most personal relationships, there starts to be a separation of a dissonance with the ones that he's closest with because they are not doing the meditations, they are not calling on the truth, so it automatically creates a dissonance between the lovers, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that then becomes an accusation of, well, you're not like you used to be.
No, I'm not. I'm more of the truth.
Yes.
It's a new me.
Yes.
That's a thing.
Oh, that was so good. Right on cue.
That's a thing. It
Yeah.
is a thing. Like, remember back in the day I told you about when I changed my diet and one of my old girlfriends was like, I don't even know you anymore. I can't even cook for you. I was like, yeah, you're right. Damn, that's hard. But this is a reality.
This
when
is the
when you have that
reality.
dynamic of a soul that's pursuing evolution, and then you're in a relationship where they're not doing the same.
And
You're
that's really
confronted.
the point of what I'm getting to is that however many years ago the decision was made to be in the relationship, the light didn't exist in him, the truth didn't exist in him at that, so that he was a better match for those choices.
Yeah.
And even though that match started to deteriorate, which is how he was led really to Of the Sun to gain more congruency and more clarity, more hygiene, more elevation. And so then this happens in relationships all the time, where then the person feels like they owe the other person their life because they chose them when they were 20 and now they're 40 and they feel like they owe them that. And you can give a person your life if you want to, but it should.
I'm not even gonna comment on swipe left. Please continue. I'm not in favor of that. However, please continue.
You can do that if you are willing to not be inspired by something new. And that's not to say that people shouldn't stay together, but what is required in a relationship, and I can say, because I've been married twice, but for long, long, long periods of time, is that you have to continue to inspire someone. They should not be expected to stay there without inspiration. So if there's no inspiration to be had, you're free to be inspired.
You know, so interesting. I'm looking at it from the mechanics, right? And I'm saying, okay, this is a person who, or a soul, that through calling for the truth, it is holographically reconfiguring every facet of his
Every
reality.
facet.
The business, the finances, people who he's attracting, you know, even outside of his relationship, like there are women who have interests. And then,
With no effort on his part, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
like people following him to his car after he goes into a business meeting, they're like following him out. Hey, you know, you want to take my card?
so this actually brings back a thought that I wanted to share.
And that had not happened before, although he's very attractive.
Yeah, but he is like flabbergasted. He's like, Lota, what? They're saying that, like, I got light? Like, what do you mean? It's like he's trying to catch up to the truth.
It's like this girl was beautiful. You know, she's following me out to the parking lot. Why is that happening?
Light's attractive.
Yes, light is very attractive, much more attractive than you imagine.
Yeah.
Much more attractive. So when you
Well, so the idea, again, I wanted to kind of change the language because language is so important and like the visuals that come up in our minds when we say certain things that I know I was using the term deconstruction and, you know, it's not necessarily like a big wrecking ball from the universe to come tear down buildings. I don't think it's that way per se, but what I could see is a slow reconfiguration, like a shift of the geometry in the field because his inner shift. And going back to the relationship where there is no inspiration, I can see where it's challenging to be inspired by what is old, what's not reconfiguring, what is in actuality beginning to phase out due to the reconfiguration.
it's such a principle, a law and principle of the universe. Pure existence does not secure your continuing to evolve. It doesn't.
Say that one more time for the slow people.
So just existing in a relationship does not support evolution. So because you made commitments to each other 2 months ago or 20 years ago, if you haven't kept on top of the growth in the relationship, the fun in the relationship, the happiness in the relationship, the joy, if it's all about push and pull or all about unhappiness or all distraction because of what's going on in the world, you could lose your thread.
You know, that's interesting. These are all weird, distorted social ideas of roles that are not established in truth. We often have conversations about relationships and people's sex life and like these types of things and even gender roles. Like, look at nature. It's not like that, you know, but we've enslaved ourselves into the limitation of these things, and then we wonder why there's so much clash because, again, what we are identifying with is not established in truth.
And there are opportunities for everyone to do just what they want to do with the person who is organized to do it with you.
Well, there's that then, you know.
You know,
Might not be organized.
not everyone is really adapted to be in the same thing forever. All situations that adults choose that don't hurt someone they're free to choose. But if it's a push and pull, if it's like, but I just want you to watch television every night when I come home with me. I want you to stop doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Don't do no arts and crafts.
Don't have any hobbies. I want to drink beer and watch
Right
TV,
here in
and I want
Daddy's
you to
lap.
sit next to me, and I'm not comfortable if you won't do that. And if you're good with that for the next 30 years, you're good. It's all good. If you're not, maybe not. Maybe you need to call for the truth. Like, what is the truth of your existence? Is that what was designed for you? Is that how you're going to go out? On the
You know,
couch,
so it's interesting to
in
hear
front of the
because
TV.
people are in relationships where they feel like I have to do this thing, I have to make this person happy. This is my husband, this is my wife, this is like, you know, so but then they're in it resentfully, self-loathing, beating themselves up mentally. And again, the card is declare war on the enemy within you, conquer your own mind, where usually the person in that circumstance, they're mad at them, like, oh, why are they making me, why are they doing, but it's us who are in agreement or afraid to say, no, I don't want to sit with you and watch the news all day, or I don't know what they're watching, you know.
Well, whatever it is,
Lifetime.
I only use that as an example because some people start doing that when they're in high school and they never stop until they die.
Yeah.
So that's an example we are all
Yeah.
familiar
I
with.
think the principle though carries through and through.
So that's the idea of that if existence in and of itself is enough for you, then you're good, you're in the right place. If your existence requires evolution and growth and expansion, you might need to consider doing something else to please yourself while they do that, encouraging the other person to learn something else and do that with you, finding hobbies that keep you close by but maybe not. You know, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of room in there.
Like sit on the couch and do your hobby while you're next to me and I'm watching TV.
Yeah, so maybe you like to knit, so maybe you can knit while I watch television, and we can spend the rest of our lives with you watching TV and me knitting. You know, it's the equivalent of what us not being responsible to make ourselves inspired to be more all the time. It's really not about our partners. It's about us. If you are inspired, busy, and doing things, nobody was even going to ask you to sit down and watch. If you're like running, taking care of things, producing things, having a great time, laughing, and nobody's going to ask you to stop doing that and sit on the couch forever. You know, so it's really about the person. Are you willing to die and this be what life was? So some people are not. The truth helps with that. The truth helps you know who you are and what you're capable of, and then it helps you see what you have chosen.
So
What you may continue to choose if it's not aggressive towards you, you may continue to choose that forever. But if it is aggressive towards you, it may require too much energy to do the thing you love and fight the person who wants you to do something else.
yeah, that's no bueno, having the fight. So all right, I'm ready for the next episode of the story. These are wonderful trailers though. I love it. What happens
So,
next?
so the next iteration,
It's okay. You can say it next episode. All right, all right.
the next iteration is that the next step is that, all right, and this is what I actually said. I said, if you die tomorrow, are you good with this? Are you good that you're going to be doing the thing that makes her happy and that didn't make you shine?
How long did he pause for? Because that's a heavy question. Oh, damn.
Like,
You started.
I mean, like on your deathbed, are you going to say like, yeah, I did what she wanted?
Oh, well, did you do what you wanted? Did you do what
Did you
arose out
find a
of you?
way? Like, there's creativity. Did you find a way to save you both? Is it possible? Is there, if with a person not trying to achieve elevation the way you are, is it possible that you could elevate for the two of you and there not be resentment and anger?
All right, so I got a question about that because maybe you all are listening and feeling the same, the questions arise, because this is something that I see many people go through, that the one-sided dynamic. You got one partner who is gung-ho in pursuit of evolution, and the other partner not even in the ballpark. Sometimes there's varying levels and degrees, but it's usually just through osmosis, and I want to make them happy, so I guess I'll breathe a little bit or meditate or try to change my diet, but the reality is that they're not on board. And so we started off as one type of person or personality or interest, and then our interest has changed.
Yes.
But then there's this weird feeling of like leaving the person behind. There's this weird feeling of like guilt and entitlement, self-punishment if they do the thing that is true to them, that their soul is telling them, versus like, let me just stay limited. How do
So,
people deal with that? Because that's a dicey, and I think there's
so
levels and
that's the
degrees,
next
but
episode.
ooh, okay. Oh,
So the person is talking to me. They said, "But I love her." I'm like, "Good. Continue to love her
what's
relentlessly."
love got to do with it? I
Yeah,
heard a
well,
lady say
there's
that.
that, but
Okay.
there's like love. If you love this person, love them relentlessly. That does not mean that you sacrifice who you are. Find a way to love them where they are loved, because if you are growing and changing and evolving, and the other person is unwilling or incapable of doing so, what does love look like on their side? They
Mm,
saying, "I love you so much, don't leave me. Don't leave me behind." And he's like,
man, get that fear out of here.
and I'm saying, "Then take her with you." But she don't want to go. I'm like, aha. Then there lies the truth of the separation. What is love? If I say I love humanity enough to clear the toilets for humanity,
Yeah, the
I'm clearing the
energetic.
environments that humans live in. I'm clearing the houses. I'm clearing the uh, parks. I'm clearing the rocks, the trees. I'm clearing the atmosphere of anti-life. That's love. I'm not expecting to get paid. I'm not expecting it to be transactional. I'm not expecting that. I make my living when other people ask me to do it. So in a relationship, isn't it the same thing? Like, I'm willing to help you and take out the garbage, but am I willing to have you never stop, never learn that you know how to take out the garbage too? Am I sentenced to a lifetime of you not wanting the thing I want, and then I can't have a partner who has the interests that I have?
Got some decisions to
Yeah,
make.
so that's where we're at. The finale hasn't
Oh, you
happened
left
yet.
us on the cliffhanger. Hit me with that Netflix. I'm like, hey, okay, I'll wait. I'll
So,
wait.
but what is happening is everyone is encouraged to continue to love each other relentlessly. If both people are saying we love each other, then love will find the way, unless love is resistant and rebellious and doesn't want to do it. Like,
So, but
I
is that even love?
exactly,
And I know you
exactly.
just gave us some levels of understanding, but would you break it down? And even though we're talking about the throat and the war in our mind, this is all happening up here inside of this person. The battle of, do I leave? Do I stay? Do I do what's in my best and highest interest? I done call forth truth. I see the truth changing my reality, but this facet of reality right here has got a hold on me because of this.
Yeah, most people want to stay with what they know that's comfortable, that's known. Most of us want to be in the comfort of the relationships with our family, our children, our parents, our lovers. We want that relationship. We don't actually really want to go away. If we could figure out a way to go do something else and keep it all, we would usually. That's not always available to everyone.
Yeah,
It is something that happens, but it's not always available. So the idea of love is not external, it's internal. Are you willing to not grow because they're not ready?
that's so
So that's how
heavy.
that's how I'm speaking to
It's,
him. So then he
you know,
says, "Look, can you be her? Can we hire you for her too?"
look, because she need to be hearing this if we want to make anything possible. I get it, but that's,
So when a person says,
I don't
"I love
know.
you," and they say it to me, I'm like, "Well, do you love you though?" Like, I get you love me, but do you love you? Do you love you enough to be the best that you can be? Do you love you to take every opportunity to be the greatness that you came here to be? Do you love you enough to live up to your purpose? I get you love me and my purpose. Me too. But do you love you enough that then we are not a matched frequency when you just want to not be detached from me because
Yeah.
I love me.
You be like, ooh, don't go. It's I had a look. I had 2 days of contrast without you.
Is this much better when you're around?
Yeah, I'm gonna do right. What even is that?
Especially when you're in the kitchen. I'm like, I really miss that. I really miss those meals. I really miss that laundry duty. I miss all that.
Okay, I want to go back to the card. The card is saying, conquer your own mind. Declare war on the enemy within you. So we are dealing with what appears to be an external circumstance, but it's really internal.
It is an internal circumstance, and my guidance to him, my counsel to him is prove the love of self to yourself. You don't have to prove that you love someone else. You've been with them for years. You've done the things that people in the third dimension do.
Ooh, that sounds like a solar plexus issue. It sounds like all of this is influencing his expression of truth.
I'm like, you're calling for the truth. Are you truly in love with yourself? Are you willing to stop self-sabotaging? Are you willing to love yourself enough to be the most that you can be? And why can't you be it whether that person likes you or not? Is your love of self and the purpose you came to earth for dependent on what they think of you?
Yes. D, yes. Final answer. I don't need to phone a friend. I don't need to phone a clear.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
So that's where we left it.
Okay. Pardon me. I'm just very firm right now.
So that's where we left it. Where my counsel to you is to love yourself, not to divorce or not divorce. My counsel to you is, can you live with the limitation of someone laying in bed next to you thinking thoughts that are not appropriate?
See, and that's the thing.
Can you do that?
You stay in it, and that's
the resentment, the anger. Can you live in that field of energy because you say you love someone? Is that appropriate for your cat, your dog, your parrot? Is that appropriate for anyone?
Would you speak about the courage that's required to be the truth? Because I'm hearing this experience, and again, it mirrors so many other experiences that we have where we are confronted, especially with people who we care about. We known them for years. And it's like, damn, if I make the choice, I'm scared to do the thing. I know it's right, but I'm scared of the potential collateral damage.
It's that and more. It's that she's so broken now. She's crying. She's upset. I think I'm worried that she might do something.
Yeah, and I'm responsible.
And I'm the responsible party. So where's the card you pull out of the deck for having the emotional tantrum? Like, no, no. So he's like, oh, she scared me. I was scared.
He's like, I don't know what she's gonna do if I leave.
Exactly.
And so that right there is. So we know that's a form of weaponization. That's manipulation.
Yeah, that level of emotional blackmail exists, and you can go for it if you want to go for it. What I recommended is stay separate, and it's the same thing. I have grandchildren. Sometimes they fall on the floor and have a tantrum. Mostly I spray them with a bottle of cold water, and then to see how dedicated they are. Like, how dedicated are you to this tantrum?
Yeah, they usually be like, what the hell, Grandma? It's like, they just stop. It's like, what is this?
Like, what are you doing? Messing up my tantrum. Like, I'm going to get up now and go play.
Right? You brought me back to awareness.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you make
Grandma.
another portal in Grandma's house.
Right? Yeah, but you were saying that
but
the
it's
experience.
The same thing. It's exactly the same thing. So I'm handling it the same way. I'm saying, don't get in bed with her tonight. Don't do that. He says, but she's so broken and she just needs hugs. I'm like, don't do it. Go to lunch.
I don't have to take my
have dinner
off.
together. Spend time. Express the reality of your experience, and allow yourself to love you, and not fall victim to the manipulation of this level of, which is actually quite typical, this level of response. Because if you've been together all these years and there hasn't been enough inspiration to make you want to be in love with that, why is it that now, because you're kicking, screaming, crying, and acting like it's going to be the end of the world, why now do that?
It's a good question.
So I'm encouraging they stay together, but separately, so that we'll see how how long the tantrum energy lasts. Kind of like with the grandchildren. Like, how dedicated are you to being sad, depressed, unhappy, screaming, yelling, threatening? Oh, how dedicated? Oh, I caught you laughing. Oh, you're having a good time. There's joy in your life somewhere. I'm still here. You don't. Your love is wherever you left it. If you left your love on the person on the other side of the room, it's still there. You just have to activate it. It's not that the person doesn't love you. You have to allow yourself to receive the love in the way they're willing to give it to you. You can't force them to give it to you the way you want them to, because that's duress.
Yeah, he'd be
That's
like,
a
"Why you
lie.
not doing what I've seen on the movies or on
Yeah,
social media?
right.
So and so's partner loves him or her.
Yeah.
Why you not fulfilling the role or living out the script?"
So a lot of this has to do with after a year or two, you pretty much know who a person is.
Yeah.
You know their jokes, you know their humor,
Hmm.
and sometimes they continue to inspire you. Sometimes they keep saying cool stuff, they keep doing cool things. You keep being inspired to be there, to stay with them, to be encouraged by them. And then sometimes it's flat.
Soda pop.
Sometimes
Like,
they're reading the paper and they never stop. And when they're not reading the paper, they're watching
just
TV. And
flatline,
yes.
stagnant
And that's
experience.
really what we're talking about, the relationship with self. Do you love yourself enough to want more? Can you get more from the relationship you're in? I am not encouraging separation. I'm encouraging going deeper into evolution, growth. I'm encouraging growth. Do you, is what you say true? Do you love yourself enough for you to make yourself more so I can have more of you? Or are we at the end of what you're willing to do?
So, and then I think that's where the separation occurs because at least there's an attempt. There's like, okay, I love you, I love this. Let's put forth the effort, which I think is a great, admirable thing to do instead of just, you know what, I'm new, I'm out. I know what that's like. However, I could see how, in some cases, and we've seen this, where, a person staying the course of the truth, making it clear, look, I'm not going to tolerate this. I love you, but I'm here. And to kind of give a little time for them to wake up, I have seen where it's worked
I have
and
too.
also the contrast of it not working. So,
I've seen where people say, I won't be disrespected anymore. And the person on the other side tries, but they can't help
and they're
themselves.
like, damn, I guess I can't. And they're not taking it no more. So then if I want to be with them, I gotta be different.
Yeah, I may have to change the way I speak to them. I may have to be more thoughtful. I may have to consider them.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. And for people who don't have that, bravo. But this is relationships is
Yeah.
something I'm intimately engaged with people in their relationships, and it could go either way. And my I don't have anybody in the race. I have the truth in the race. Like, be the truth of who you are, and know that if you're not, you're sacrificing this lifetime where you didn't learn whatever you came here to learn.
I want to speak on that just briefly. And it's something that I've observed um, with you in your consultations with clients, especially when it's a partner dynamic, because, people are like, all right, go see my partner.
Yeah,
You're doing good with me. Talk to them.
yeah,
And it's unbiased.
yeah.
It's just like, look, I'm gonna give you the truth for you, and then I'm gonna give you the truth to you. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Go ahead now. Go ahead. Go on. Be the truth.
Yeah, that
And
is kind of the way I
yeah,
operate.
I'm being silly with it, but it's so beautiful to see where you're free of, again, like the social norms of what a person thinks they should do, and just again striving them to be the greatest. It's all about you, because when you're, and this is something that I learned being with another son, the thing that you do that's in your best and highest interest serves all parties.
Yes, it does. It serves the children. Are you going to teach the children the behavior that the two of you are unhappy with? Or are you going to, remember that it's better for you to be authentic because the children know anyway. You know, I
Yeah, they be children be watching,
I had one
soaking
client call
up.
me. She said he needs to stop telling people what I used to do, and he said, "Oh, it wasn't me. The children heard the arguments. They're like outing the person
Yeah,
because they were living in the house and heard the
yeah,
calliope.
and the person thinks that the children are just too young to process and
Yeah,
understand.
they knew everything that was
Yeah,
going on. And it's much better to be congruent with whatever is being done. And if you are choosing to step out of the norm, to be cognizant in how to best express that in its highest iteration of freedom. Mostly, we are devoted to the people we are with. Mostly, it is in our best interest to not start over. Mostly, it is best for us to take, if it is not too much damage, it is mostly in our best interest to take what we have built on and build a new world from that, to do a do over. So, I was on the call with someone yesterday who was having an issue with his mother, and I had counseled him that you must be correct with your mother. That's karmic. It's necessary to remember that she fed you from
oh
her
yeah,
own organs, that no one else has done for you what your mother has done, and that she made that heart that you so, that mouth that you're talking with.
all of that.
Yeah, that's her stuff. And so if you get when you get really angry with your mother, you need to remember that. So he had sat with that for a couple of weeks, and he called up his mother and he said, "Mom, let's do a do-over." She said, "Okay, hang up. I'll call you back."
That's cute. I love it. Yeah.
And she was, happy to do it. He says, "You've been great to my children. You raised me. I'm a rich, wealthy man." So he just dropped it. He just let it go.
That's so cool and so powerful.
Yeah,
So
it's kind
liberating.
of ho'oponopono, like, let's do a
Yeah.
do-over.
And the fact that she was with it, like, you know what? All right.
She's like, hang up, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
We're starting over.
Yeah.
And now she's inviting him and the whole family, flying them all somewhere, and
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. And so we should be ready to do a do-over if we're ready to put down, if we can see the beauty, if we can see the sacrifice, if we can see what has been given, if we remember we're talking to someone we love. We can remember, I'm talking to somebody I love. I don't need to talk to them as if they're my enemy. Then there's an opportunity for you to refine that, and they can stay in your experience. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that's our final episode for today.
All right, so we're gonna be on a cliffhanger. Stay tuned for the next episode of, dot dot dot. I don't know what to call this, but it is intriguing and is very relevant. And as we were going through this dialogue, I was seeing how it's just so applicable in all relationships.
It really is. Whether it's children, parents, lovers, business partners, those that we have chosen to spend our time with and that we have connected to, there should be some remembrance of the respect of who they are in our experience. There should also be a deep love of self that does not let you be stagnant if someone else is. And that doesn't have anything to do with getting a new lover. It has to do with your soul. And do you want to repeat this grade?
Come back on a short bus, do you?
You want to have to do Earth School again?
It's hard out here. All that training you done did just to do it over. Come on now. I feel like that's like, yeah, when you're in that position, you're like, damn. All this work that I done put in, do I want to give it up for the lie,
Yeah, do you want
To
to give it up
stay
for the lies?
limited.
So that you can stay in the frequency of when you were 16 or when you were 26 or whenever you met that person and decided whatever was going on then, have you not grown since then? Have you not expanded? Have you not become more? Have they also? Are you the one who needs to play catch up? Are they
Oh,
saying,
that's a flip. Yeah, you gotta look at both sides.
so we have to see. And have your ideas changed? There was this, and I remember doing this, working long hours in corporate America, then coming home to cook. Like, What a crazy situation that is.
Yeah.
Like, how did I get all these jobs?
Right.
You know, how did I need to work and then come home and work? And when does work stop? You know,
Mm.
so if you're in a relationship where you have established that and you want to reestablish something new, you need a do-over. You might need some counseling.
Yeah, like, look, you know they say life is a game. Let's run this stage back over again.
Right.
So let us omit the commercial. The
Okay.
Riverside software is, I was attempting to do some previews. It's not playing, so I'd
Okay.
rather spare us. But looks like the chat is very active.
Oh, good. I'd like to hear from people. We're
Yeah.
going to be talking about relationships in the future. You can bring relationships questions to us, then we'll try to get to a couple of them each show every Thursday.
Yeah, if you're like, look, would y'all talk about such and such? Send us an email, contact@ofthesun.com, or throw it in the chat. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the top. So we got Gina. She says, "Invocation Veritas to you, two enlightened souls, and all of the Sun Universe family. Much appreciation, love, and light
Yay.
for your energy and wisdom." And we got Lay Leonetti. That dream, your reality is showing me the truth of how I'm feeling. Even the stuff I've been trying. Hold on a second. I done shared the wrong comment. Here we are. That dream, there's a typo here, is really showing me the truth of how I'm feeling, even the stuff I've been trying to hide. Oh, she corrected the typo. Dream journaling
Ah,
is
good.
showing her the truth of how she's feeling, even the
Yes, that
stuff she's
dream
ignoring.
journaling is fabulous.
Ooh, dream. So you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Last phase of Light Body when we were in the throat, dream journaling, dream recall. That
Yes.
was a focus because this area
Yes.
is connected to
So
that
those
aspect.
who are in light body, if you go back to the previous 2025 light body and review your throat chakra, you'll see that.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a whole nother conversation about the subconscious, but it's real in the field, Le Leon. And so Gina's back around. She says, I watched the Flower Power Class podcast. It inspired me to actually do a drawing for the first time in years. Thank you,
Yay.
Lauren, Laos, Tavares, Diane, and the whole of the Sun Universe family. Confetti.
So happy that you listened to the podcast. You are encouraged in this time of spring to go around blooming trees and blooming bushes and flowers and places where flowers are and ask them for a healing. They are the healers. They come from a healing realm. They are here to heal humanity. Go make some new friends.
No, that's right. The flowers be talking.
Yeah.
The flowers be healing. All you gotta do is ask. So Lauren responded, excellent, Gina. We are one in this community together with all life in Lakesh. Stacy OTS says, learning self-preservation is the key. I think that's definitely a callback to, or what comes to mind is the heart,
Yeah.
you know, and love and the solar plexus and, you know, that whole interconnection there.
Well, and look at it this way. Not only is that the truth, but look at the reality of that. If you are not preserving yourself, now I have to preserve myself and I have to put you on my back and drag you along if I want to be with you. You need to preserve yourself. Otherwise, we're of a Sherpa trying
Yeah.
to climb up the mountain of life.
And you know they ain't treating the Sherpas right. They have not been treating us. Don't be a Sherpa now. Shout out to the Sherpas. All right. Gina's back, and she says, "It might sound like a strange question. However, I'm curious. What are your thoughts? What your thoughts are about hermaphrodites found throughout humanity? Are they the divine feminine and the divine masculine?"
Oh, it's interesting. In my family, there is a biological hermaphrodite that was born 2 generations ago, and the family was aware of it. At that time, as a physical hermaphrodite, at that time, it was decided, this is like in the 50s or 60s, that at puberty, wherever the tendency would be what happened. So when They got to puberty, the family moved and they changed gender. But both organs were underdeveloped. And it is an example of the reality that the two polarities, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, are one creational movement. It is creation itself has come together in physical reality to reproduce itself using the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which we both have. So for me, there is great clarity that, and that there is a sliding scale, that some women are more dominant and some women are less dominant. And there are specifics, like there are those who have more melanin, may be more dominant than those who don't. That there's a sliding scale, but it still is clear. The law is feminine and masculine, and both are needed in the same way the sun is needed to give direction and purpose and order to the earth, while the earth contains all of the elements and all of the aspects that then can be directed by the sun. So, in terms of them representing something specifically divine, they represent the divinity of who the divine feminine and masculine are, and it shows up in physical reality sometimes as a physical
Yeah.
experience.
Excuse me. I'm about to say something. Now I'm asked, should I say that? They're like, nah. I'm like, all right, thank you.
So the answer would be that we are all divine, and every one of us. Of course, how we show up. Remember, we started the show by saying everything is frequency, and everything shows up, whether it's your fingerprints, whether it's your voice, whether it's your name, or your numbers for your birth. It's true of hermaphrodites as well. So, whatever was in the previous experience that merged those two frequencies is a physical representation, in the same way that what you do now is your next life. So the indecision, or the truth of the experience, or the lack of standing up for the truth, or the ability to be the hero, all exist as potential opportunities for the next lifetime. So, it's the same thing with identical twins and with fraternal twins. There's a reason that happens that has to do with the previous experiences. So, it's that and it's more. I hope that answers it.
I hope so. I don't got no commentary. Silence! Sometimes the throat, when it's activated, is knowing when not to speak. Just saying. All right, so then we have Russ is in the house. He actually made commentary to Gina. We all possess both divine feminine, divine masculine, whether you are physically male or female. So, you were just saying that low to in depth. Care Builders in the house, and the Cash Veritas. Y'all are always so relevant. So I guess it is landing. Plane is landing for her. And we got a handful of comments left. Stacy OTS says, opening the heart to be receptive to reconciliation is powerful. Then we have Laylee on that E. Wow, Earth School was literally just in my dream like 2 days ago. Hashtag alignment. Sherelle's in the house, says in the Kitchen Veritas. That's all the comments that I see here. So this was quite the live stream, the conversation of going to war, seeing that, again, what looks like an external problem is really inner conflict that must be addressed. And the way will be made if you call for the truth.
I think it's so interesting that you pulled the card for today last night.
Yes.
I had the call with the client who's saying, I've been calling for the truth. I've been calling for the truth.
Look.
This morning. And now we're having the show and we're still talking about the same idea. This is how the truth works, where it arises. And then some aspect comes out, then another aspect comes out. Then when you go deeper, when you want more, when you're willing to give more, then more comes forward. Thank you all so much for being with us for this more.
Look, it is real in the field.
Yes.
And so again, thank you all. If you all are again interested in working with us here at Of the Sun, you can book yourself a complimentary discovery call. It's a 30-minute session where you and we will hash out what are your goals, what is it that you're looking to transmute within your experience, and how can Of the Sun be of service to help you with becoming free, becoming sovereign, your connection with the whole. And so then also, if you're looking to take classes with us, we have some upcoming classes throughout the year, many of which are foundational energy hygiene. We have many pre-recorded classes that are available as well. Your soul translation class will be next month for the soul translators. We had a client who reached out and he's like, I want that thing where you can heal yourself and you can do the. I was like, what are you talking about? And as we continued the conversation, I'm like, oh, you're talking about soul translation.
Yes.
So it does require a prerequisite for anyone who's looking to take Lao Tzu's advanced classes. We teach you how to speak to your body, how to get yes and no. Lao Tzu has curated such simplistic yet complex systems. They're founded on simplicity, but you can get as detailed as you want. But it all starts with learning to receive yes and no information from your biology. And this is a step beyond kinesiology, where you're not just muscle testing. You're actually, what is my body saying? From a binary yes and no, or I don't know, ask me again, because the way your attachment to this question is distorting the truth right now. And then, teaching you how to actually clear any of the lie or the attachment so you can get the truth from your body, especially in this day and age. So that's a prerequisite. We have it available as a recording because there aren't any live classes right now. So you can just reach out to us if anything. You have any thoughts on that?
Just that all the things that we do are to empower you. We keep returning you back to you. It is you who have to have the truth. It is you who must love you. It is you who must move forward to do any of these things, to be the truth. That is the truth.
I feel like smacking the card down, That's the truth.
We thank you so much for joining us today. We give you the greetings of Invocation Veritas with honor, respect, gratitude,